training, no Wi-Fi.
I'm gonna start putting my phone on record in my pocket when she's complaining. No, I'm gonna be a detective now. All right.
Oh.
Okay, here we go. All right. We're on the recording now. We're going to be starting number 17 to 18. Great if this mouse would work. Come on. What is going on here? Why is it glitching so much? There we go. All right, there we go. Had a little technical difficulty there. All right. Shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. It's Brother Doug with the Wiccan by Yahuwah Assembly. We are going to be doing our regular Sabbath study. So let me open my Word software here. Okay. All right. And so what I do like about software, I notice every time I open it up, it has a little thing on the Windows saying not to be sold. I kind of like that. So let's see here. We'll do, let's see here. I guess for the Masoretic, we could do the JPS Tanakh. That will be their standard. So we're going to do a three-way comparison as we usually do when I use the Word software. Let's see here, number 17 to 18. So we got the Septuagint all the way at the left, JPS Tanakh for the Masoretic, the Samaritan Torah all the way on the right. It says, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Yashar and take rods of them according to the houses of their families, a rod from all their princes according to the houses of their families, 12 rods, and write the name of each on his rod, and write the name of Aaron on the rod of Levi, for it is one rod they shall give according to the tribe of the house of their families. You know what I find interesting too is I never thought about this before. There's kind of like a parallel between this command and the dry bones of Ezekiel. I never put two and two together with that before, but when he talks about
sharing.
Oh, really? That's wonderful. Okay. There we go. So I just found it interesting because you got the stick for Ephraim, the stick of Yehuda. They come together in that prophecy. And right here where Yahuwah is commanding Moshe to make a rod for Aaron to put his name on it. So I just find an interesting connection there. So you shall put them in the tabernacle witness before the testimony or witness, where I will be made known to you there. I would say that means that Yahuwah is coming down to, basically congregate with them there. And it shall be the man whom I shall choose, his rod shall blossom. I will remove from me the murmuring of the children of Yashar, which they murmur against you. Interesting. And Moshe spoke to the children of Yashar, and all their chiefs gave him a rod. For one chief, a rod according to the house of their families, 12 rods, and the rod of Aaron in the midst of the rods. And Moshe laid up the rods before Yahuwah in the tabernacle of witness. And it came to pass on the next day. So, by the way, the morrow, obviously, in the English language, morrow or tomorrow would be the next day. Moshe and Aaron went into the tabernacle witness, and behold, the rod of Aaron for the house of Levi blossomed and put forth a bud and bloomed blossoms and produced almonds. By the way, those of you that may have just started watching our studies and maybe don't understand the context of this chapter and why this is happening. Basically, Korah, when they rebelled against Aaron's anointing, is what they did. This is why Yahuwah is doing this. Yahuwah is trying to show the whole congregation of Yasharel, listen, I'm the one that chooses who's going to be in leadership. I'm the one that puts people in positions of leadership. And so Yahuwah is trying to basically show them that they were in sin by going against his anointing. Okay, it's not that Aaron anointed himself. Yahuwah anointed him to be priest, to be a leader. And that's the whole purpose about this. And Moshe brought forth all the rods from before Yahuwah to all the sons of Yasharel, and they looked, each one took his rod. Yeah, I like this header. I know we were talking last night about how I usually don't like chapter headers. This one's pretty fitting. It is left for a monument against the rebels. And Yahuwah said to Moshe, lay up the rod of Aaron before the witnesses to be kept as a sign for the children of disobedient, and let their murmuring cease from me, and they shall not die. And Moshe and Aaron did as Yahuwah commanded Moshe, so did they. And the children of Yasharel spoke to Moshe, saying, behold, we are cut off, we are destroyed, we are consumed. Everyone that touches the tabernacle of Yahuwah dies. Shall we utterly die? So that's the end of chapter 17. 17 is very brief. So I wonder if this is the introduction to the whole that only Aaron's lineage can touch the Ark of the Covenant and all that, because we already see they can't. Right now they can't touch. They believe that they can't even go near the tabernacle without dying. So I wonder if this is the beginning of that covenant, because not that covenant, but the beginning of that commandment, where like that one commandment that says anyone that's not of the seed of Aaron can't go in the set apart place. You know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about, Mom? Like the
I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to read chapter 18, Mom?
Sure.
All right.
Okay. You, Aaron, you, your sons, and your father's family are to bear the responsibility for offenses against the sanctuary. And you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for offenses against the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you and assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of testimony. They are to be responsible to you and are to perform all the duties of the tent, but they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar, or both they and you will die. They are to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting, all the work at the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. You are to be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar. That wrath will not fall on the children of Israel again. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to Yahuwah to do the work at the tent of meeting. But only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. I am giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone else who comes near the sanctuary must be put to death. Then Yahuwah said to Aaron, I myself have put you in charge of the offerings presented to me. All the set-apart offerings the children of Israel give me, I give to you and your sons as your portion and regular share. You are to have the part of the most set-apart offerings that is kept from the fire. From all the gifts they bring me as most set-apart offerings, whether grain or sin or guilt offerings, that part belongs to you and your sons. Eat it as something most set apart. Every male shall eat it. You must regard it as set apart. This also is yours. Excuse me. Whatever is set aside from the gifts of all the wave offerings of the children of Israel, I give this to you and your sons and daughters as your regular share. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. I give you all the finest olive oil and all the finest new wine and grain. They give Yahuwah as the first fruits of their harvest. All the land's first fruits that they bring to Yahuwah will be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. Everything in Yashrael that is devoted to Yahuwah is yours. The first offspring of every womb, both man and animal, that is offered to Yahuwah is yours. But you must redeem every firstborn son and every firstborn male of unclean animals. When they are a month old, you must redeem them at the redemption price set at 5 shekels of silver, according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are set apart. Sprinkle their blood on the altar and burn their fat as an offering made by fire, an aroma pleasing to Yahuwah. Their meat is to be yours, just as the breast of the waves offering and the right thigh are yours. Whatever is set aside from the set-apart offerings the children of Israel present to Yahuwah, I give to you and your sons and daughters as your regular share. It is an everlasting covenant of salt before Yahuwah for both you and your offspring. Yahuwah said to Aaron, you will have no inheritance in their land, nor will you have any share among them. I am your share and your inheritance among the children of Israel. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Yashrael as their inheritance in return for the work they do while serving at the tabernacle. From now on, the children of Israel must not go near the tent of meeting, or they will bear the consequences of their sin and will die. It is the Levites who are to do the work at the tabernacle and bear the responsibility for offenses against it. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. They will receive no inheritance among the children of Israel. Instead, I give to the Levites as their inheritance the tithes that the children of Israel present as an offering to Yahuwah. That is why I said concerning them, they will have no inheritance among the children of Israel. Yahuwah said to Moshe, speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive from the children of Israel the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present a tenth of that tithe as Yahuwah's offering. Your offering will be recognized as grain from the threshing floor or juice from the winepress. In this way, you also will present an offering to Yahuwah from all the tithes you receive from the children of Israel. From these tithes you must give Yahuwah's portion to Aaron the priest. You must present as Yahuwah's portion the best and most set apart part of everything given to you. Say to the Levites, when you present the best part, it will be reckoned to you as the product of the threshing floor or the winepress. You and your households may eat the rest of it anywhere, for it is your wages for your work at the tabernacle. By presenting the best part of it, you will not be guilty in this matter. Then you will not defile the set-apart offerings of the children of Israel, and you will not die.
You need a little water, Mom?
No, I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm just congested. That's
Okay.
all.
All right, just checking. So there's see, the only notes I really had for this chapter was verse 18. Obviously, you see the context again about the fat. Okay. The reason says do not eat the fat. They're offering fat as a burnt offering. Okay. So when he's talking about don't eat the fat, he's talking about the fat of the offerings. Not going to waste too much time on that because we talked about that many times. Okay, Leviticus 18:19, an eternal covenant. Wanted to point that out because a lot of people think Yahusha did away with the Levitical priesthood, which is a covenant. Okay. And let me actually get another cross reference for you guys just to show how we know for a fact Yahuwah did not do fully away with the priesthood of the Levites. That we are in a transition period. It's not that it's done away with. It's just that we're in a transition period. Okay. If look for this verse from Jeremiah here. If you could take away my covenant of day and night, also this scripture is very important because it's showing that if you do that, what's included of taking away his covenant here is also the Davidic covenant. So if you say that the Levitical priesthood has been done away with, then you have to say the Davidic covenant is done away with. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. Jeremiah 33, verse 20. Okay, starting at verse 20, actually. So Jeremiah 33, verse 20. I'll use the Masoretic just because I don't know exactly what chapter would correlate with the way the Septuagint has it. The chapters is a little weird. So let me just do the Masoretic here. So if you look at Jeremiah 33:20, it says, and mind you, this is Yahusha himself speaking. Okay, it says the word of Yahuwah came to Jeremiah. So this is the word of Yahuwah speaking. Thus says Yahuwah, if you can break my covenant of day, my covenant of night. Okay, I know a lot of people want to spin that and say, oh, da, da, da. It's saying that he has a covenant with the hours of the day, light, and hours of night, and that there should not be day and night in their appointed time. So obviously there has to be night hours and daylight hours. You can't have one without the other. Okay. Then may also my covenant be broken with David, my servant, that he should not have the son to reign upon his throne, and with the Levites, the priests, my ministers. So you can't have one without the other here. He's combining all these together. Okay. So if you're going to say his covenant with Levi is done, then how does he have a Davidic covenant still? Okay. Jeremiah 33:20-21. Okay. So this clearly shows that the Levitical priesthood, even though we're not in one right now, is not put to an end. He never put it to an end. Okay. So he would be contradicting his own word to do that. Okay. If Yahusha is Yahuwah, like we believe, he cannot go against his own word. Okay. So it's forever, it's eternal. multiple times. Yahuwah himself says it's eternal, it's forever. So we have to reconcile that. Yeah, I'm dry today too. With the fact that we're not in one right now, the easy way to reconcile it is we're in a transference period, and we're not in a period where it's completely done away with. So that's it will come back in the millennium. It has to. If it's a perpetual covenant, it has to. So anyway, what else here? Sorry guys, my mouth is dry today. All right, so verse 23 talks about they would bear the lawlessnesses of the children of Israel. Now that's interesting, because we know who bore our lawlessnesses on the stake. So there's a clear parallel with the Levitical priesthood to Yahusha and what he has done in the heavenly Melchizedek priesthood. He's done it eternally, to where you don't have to keep doing it every year. That was the change in the law. We no longer need a temporary atonement in a Levitical priesthood. So what do I mean by that? Everything that has to do with sin sacrifices in that priesthood is no longer in that priesthood. So for example, like when it comes back in the millennium, in the millennial reign, you are not going to have sin sacrifices. You're going to have burnt offerings. You're going to have peace offerings, salvation offerings. You will not have sin sacrifices. That atonement part has Yahusha did it once for all. So that's what we have to understand, what the distinction between the two priesthoods, and something in the Levitical priesthood did change. That's why Paul says in the law, there was a change. Not that the law was done away with. In the law, there was a change. So that's also what we have to understand too. So when we understand that, this makes perfect sense how it parallels, how Yahusha had a much better atonement, okay, because he took our lawlessnesses upon himself. As a matter of fact, I think the Septuagint in Isaiah 53 actually words it as he physically bore our lawlessnesses in him. Like physically, they got transferred to him. So I really recommend you look into the Septuagint version of Isaiah 53 with that, because it gets a lot more specific. It makes more sense with what the Brit Hadashah says. So anyway, that's really the main stuff that I saw from this chapter. Obviously, they'll have no inheritance. That's talking about they can't have any land where there are other tribes have. They had to have suburbs or outside towns. Yahuwah did give the Levites some part of the promised land, but it was not, they didn't have any inheritance with the children of Israel in the land that they were given. So the Levites had to go on like these suburbs or outside towns to live. Let's see here. Talk about the tithe. Obviously, we know that the tithe was for the Levites. So for us to tithe today, we would need a Levitical priesthood. Yeah. If your heave offering shall be reckoned to you as grain from the floor, an offering from the winepress. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Offerings from Yahuwah out of all your tithes receive. You shall give of them an offering to Yahuwah, to Aaron the priest. So again, even though you're giving the tithe to Yahuwah or the offering to Yahuwah, it has to go to Aaron the priest first. Okay. Of all your gifts, you shall offer offering to Yahuwah, every first fruit, the set apart part from it. You shall say to them, when you shall offer the first fruits from it, then it shall be reckoned to the Levites. Again, so everything has to go to the Levites. This is why certain people, today will say to me, well, we can still do the Pentecost offering. We can just, barak it to Yahuwah, and that's an offering. I'm like, no, that's not offering. You're giving thanks to Yahuwah for that bread you just baked, but that's not an offering. So we need to be, and I'm not trying to be facetious right now, but we need to make a distinction here between what's breaking bread and giving thanks versus what's an offering. They had to take that out of their homes. You can't spiritualize the Pentecost offering. You can't do that. It even says you will go outside your homes to the place that Yahuwah has put his name on. So by default, your individual homes we live in today cannot be where he put his name. You can't spiritualize that. So anyway, so I know people have said it to me. I've had conversations with people about this. I respectfully disagree when they think they can just, still do the offerings without a Levitical priesthood. I don't know how you could come to that conclusion when it's very clear. Every offering had to go to a Levite. And again, there's no mention in the Brit Hadashah about the Melchizedek priesthood being a priesthood of earthly sacrifices. There's nowhere it says that in the Brit Hadashah. So anyway. And you shall eat it in the place, you and your families, for this is your reward for your services in the tabernacle of witness. You shall not bear sin by reason of it, for you shall have offered an offering of first fruits from it, and you shall not profane the set apart things of the children of Yashrael, that you do not die. Very serious. You shall not die. So this was a serious thing. If a Levite screwed up and profaned the set apart things, Yahuwah would be like, dead. Mm-hmm. It's serious. It's so, this is what I mean. Like, we have to understand that we kind of have certain things in this Melchizedek very easy. It's going to be a lot more severe in the millennial. Okay. Levites are going to have to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing. They better know their Torah. So, because that is a serious penalty if they mess up with the sacrifices. Okay. Very serious. Okay. So again, we should be thankful we're in a Melchizedek priesthood right now. There's certain things in a Melchizedek priesthood that make it a little bit easier for us to follow Torah. Especially for those that are from a Levitical lineage that come to Messiah and that are really, they're not required yet to do these things until the millennial. So, we should be thanking Yahuwah that we're in a transition period. Okay. But anyway, so that was Leviticus chapter 18. So we did 17, 18. I don't know. I don't think there's anything we could really expound upon that we haven't already talked about. I was expecting to see the commandment about not being able to touch the Ark of the Covenant, only the priests being able to touch it. But I don't know. Maybe we haven't gotten to that part yet in Numbers, or maybe it's in Leviticus where it talks about that. So that only the Levites can touch the Ark. But we see that it seems like from this point on, the children of Yashrael can't go to, it seems like they can't go inside the tabernacle to touch it of themselves. So that's kind of interesting. So it seems like from the book of Numbers on, Yahuwah is changing things. Is like, okay, well, you guys were rebellious against my anointing of Aaron and his priesthood. So now Yahuwah's got to make it where only Aaron and his descendants can really work in the tabernacle and deal with the sacrifices inside of the tabernacle and all that. So very interesting. So I think we're going to take a break and we'll be back on shortly to do our Job portion in the book of Ayub. And that will be 35 to 36. So please stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back shortly. And